This is just a quick look at the Panasonic Lumix LX3 and the Canon Powershot G10. These are the two current top-of-the-line offerings in the compact digital range. I like each camera for their individual attributes. The LX3 for its size, it's very small compared to the G10. It's not as bulky. Although the interesting thing is the lens of the LX3 protrudes about the same length as the G10 closed, which is kind of interesting since the G10 has a wider, or I should say a longer zoom range from the wide angle to the zoom. Both have 3-inch high resolution backlit displays here, LCD displays. The LX3 doesn't have an optical viewfinder, whereas the G10 does. I find that I don't use the optical viewfinder as much as I thought I would, so it's not a huge issue for me. In that sense, you're going to be saving a lot on the overall size, since the lack of optical viewfinder really makes the LX3 more svelte or portable, I guess. The LX3 being a little narrower. Both have similar size screens. I like the image of the G10 a little better. It seems like the white balance is a little more accurate. Although they have a firmware for the LX3 that supposedly addresses that issue, which I haven't had a chance to test. I did download the firmware, which I have the link to the Panasonic Japanese site actually that has it. I went to the standard Panasonic site and there was nothing about a firmware. I found that interesting. The other thing I wanted to point out is look at how the lens protrudes out from both cameras. About the same, which is really surprising, considering that the G10 has a wider range. The LX3 here has a 24 to 60, which isn't bad. It goes pretty wide. So in terms of the wide angle, the LX wins. For zoom range, the G10. This is where I like the lens cap of the G10. It's built in. It's got that nice shutter style, whereas the LX3 does not. It uses your standard lens cap like so. I have seen an aftermarket lens cap that kind of mimics the Canon, but this is fine, I guess. I like the nice clean lines of the LX3. So again, from the front you see the size difference. The G10's a little bulkier, thicker, a little bit heavy. It's got a good feel. Whereas the LX3 is a little more streamlined. It too has a metallic body, has a good feel to it. You're probably wondering where the flash on the LX3 is. It's actually right here. You push the button, it pops up like so. It's kind of cool. Nice little feature. I don't use the onboard flash much anyway. So it's there if you need it, but out of the way when you don't. Power on. And you have the menu system here. Pretty basic. And then you have the grid overlay. I happen to have the histogram option selected as well, so you can see a change in real time. The other nice thing about the LX3 is when you're shooting in the JPEG mode, it has an auto leveling feature, so it'll kind of straighten out your horizon line. I haven't really tested it too much, but I think it also crops some of your image out as well. The LX3 also shoots in RAW, which is nice. Some of the earlier complaints was that the Photoshop didn't support it. CS4 does, the Adobe Camera Raw. I haven't had a chance to test that out yet. Looking at the top of the camera here, we have the power button, which causes the lens to protrude out. And the function dial, again you got the nice click stop, shutter button, you got your flash right here. There you have the front of the camera. And here we have the bottom of the camera, and the tripod socket is way off center from the lens axis, way to the left, but it's not too much of an issue since the camera is pretty lightweight. Get the battery compartment here. SD card. I usually recommend using some of the high-speed ones just for the read-write speed for the movie clips. And then you have the proprietary battery here. It's one of the accessories that I would probably buy right off the top of the bat as an extra battery.